Ash from Jensense made an excellent video recently called Cheap Fragrances He'd Give a Perfect 10 out of 10 to. However, he included Bentley for Men Intense in that list. So, here's my rebuttal. Bentley for Men Intense is a 6 out of 10.
You need to leave!
I'm sorry, it's true. That was one of the most disappointing blind buys I ever made, purely from the hype that the community gives it. I tried to wear it many times, I tried to like it, but I really couldn't, and I gave it away a few months after I bought it. Other than that though, I think Ash actually gave some excellent suggestions, but the problem I had with his video was that I didn't really know why he gave those fragrances 10 out of 10 objectively, because a 10 out of 10 is a very high score. You know, you really need to work for that score. Very few fragrances across all price ranges would reach that. In my video, as in the previous criteria video that I made on this topic about how I review fragrances, I'll link that at the end of this video, I will tell you guys why these fragrances are getting a 10 out of 10. So first of all, it's going to be for the scent. They're high quality in both their ingredients and their blend, their composition. Their performance has to be greater than 8 hours. You have to be able to smell them in the air, detect them in the air, get whiffs of them after 8 hours. They have to have fantastic wearability, at least 3 seasons. It doesn't really matter which occasions you're wearing them in, but it has to be able to be worn in 3 seasons to get the most value for your money. And lastly, especially for this video, the fragrances have to smell higher quality than the price you are paying. They have to give you a great price value for the purchase. Of course, the 6 fragrances I'm about to list are 10s, only from my opinion, but I do think if you blind buy any of these, you may not necessarily love the style of these fragrances, but you are guaranteed to get very high quality. I think you should appreciate the quality of all these I'm about to suggest. Some of the presentations of these bottles don't necessarily look high quality, some of them look downright weird, and some of them look atrocious. But if you ignore the presentation for this rating criteria, guys, these are definitely 10s in my opinion. Let's get into it. First off, in no particular order, we're going to start with a cult classic in the community. Montblanc Individual. Apparently discontinued, but still very easy to find on discount websites. This is a very sexy, cheap fragrance. It gives me a lot of compliments, this. I always say Montblanc Individual smells what Yup would smell like if it wasn't annoying. This is powdery, clean raspberry with some good sweetness, some muskiness in here. And from first spray, this smells smooth. This was so smooth and so great that even Creed had to copy it, which is it's usually the other way around with Creed, but Creed copied Individual with original Santal. And when you think about the price difference for these two, I would never suggest original Santal over this. This is still a very high quality smelling fragrance. It's very soft and close to the skin, but it just surprises you. It lasts just about over 8 hours in the air, and it just keeps going and going, even though you think it's going to wear off. So it's got an impressive performance, wear it all year round, apart from maybe, I would say, the summer. I think that's probably its weakest season, but other than that, great, great wearability, great price value. A 10 out of 10. Do you guys agree? Because I know a lot of you would have already tried this. A year ago, this next fragrance would not have been on this list, but it's going to be the weird teddy bear. That's right, it's Moschino Toy Boy. I'm not sure what happened with this. Maybe it just didn't sell, but it's gone so much cheaper down in price recently. You can get it around £30 or $40. And I don't know why it's so cheap. Now it's definitely a steal for the price. It's such a high quality and interesting fragrance. As I said in the intro, you may not like the style, but you are guaranteed to at least appreciate quality. And when a lot of us in the community are annoyed by how the designer market doesn't like to play it risky, try new concepts and ideas, this is where this fragrance comes in. This, if it wasn't in a weird teddy bear presentation, could have been niche in my opinion. It's unisex as well, I would say. It's pear and rose. So a lot of men don't necessarily like rose fragrances, but I cannot deny that this is sexy and this gets you a lot of compliments. It's sort of in the same way how Ultramal and Invictus sort of have unisex aspects to themselves as well, and they get you attention. This is loud, it lasts over 12 hours, wear it in pretty much all year round, but maybe winter is its weakest season, but it's got great wearability also. I think this should have sold a lot better. I'm a little bit sad for the brand. I wish they got rewarded more for their risky play and their love for creativity. I think this is fantastic and you need to try it if you haven't already. You should be able to try this in any department store. This next one I guarantee you've never heard of, Haramain Excellent, which is an appropriate name because this fragrance is good. This is very good actually. Now for real, this is an excellent scent, but I don't know why. When you see other Haramain bottles, they gave their other creations more love with the presentation, but you look at this and you think this is probably some sort of fake illegal juice that was going to burn your skin off. I'm not sure why the presentation is so zero effort and poor quality. This fragrance is very cheap. I don't know why they would call that fragrance excellent and make it so dirt cheap and so poorly presented, but it's about, you know, 10 to 15 pounds. Very cheap. This is a fragrance that's competing with the likes of Versace Blue Jeans or David Beckham's Instinct. But this smells a lot more interesting and high quality, hence why it's on this list. Does it smell like anything you'd find in the mainstream designer markets here in the West? No. This is unforgiving in how Middle Eastern it smells. This is Middle Eastern through and through. This smells like the Middle Eastern prince who has billions of pounds or dirhams in Dubai and does not care. He is so carefree. I got a sample. This is one of the first fragrances I sampled from Natina back in the day. And I just got it. I don't know why I got it. I don't know how I ended up getting this, but I just think I like the idea of it. When you look at Fragrantica, you look at the notes, you don't really know what this fragrance is. I think it's got like 2 notes in there. It doesn't really tell you what it smells like. So let me try and do it justice. This smells like a Middle Eastern concoction of rose, spices, vanilla, and musks, and as it dries down it becomes a bit more woody, but it's mainly a floral spicy fragrance, very different to what you smell here in the West. I would say this is unisex again, but I think any man who has the confidence and again the carefree spirit, you need to be a carefree kind of guy, I think, to rock this really well. Use this all year round, maybe avoid it in the winter time. Although this is fairly sweet, it has a light airiness to it. It's really strange. Again, it's similar to Individual. It sits close to the skin. You think it's going to wear off, but no, it just keeps on lasting for 10 hours. It just keeps going and going. I think this is insane for how cheap this is. Again, guys, 10 to 15 pounds, less than $20. This is Nautica Voyage it's competing against. I think it completely trumps that fragrance. Again, not a safe style, but this is definitely worth checking out. I'm not sure if other reviewers have talked about this. Now let's head on over to our more Western-friendly Middle Eastern brand, Haramain with Club de Nuit Sillage. This is a Creed Silver Mountain Water clone, which if you ever smelled that fragrance, it's a green tea, powdery yet metallic, fresh DNA that's perfect for the springtime. This is less emphasis on the green tea, it's less powdery, it's more of an aromatic silver metallic, as the bottle suggests, musky fragrance, like a clean metallic musk, this fragrance. In my opinion, Silver Mountain Water was unisex, whilst this it becomes a more masculine fragrance. I think it's more suitable for men. I think it's actually easier to wear than Silver Mountain Water. I like the original SMW, but with this existing, I don't think you need to buy that anymore. I think Haramain blew it out of the water. I think, yeah, this is just easier to wear. You can have it as your signature. Maybe don't wear this in the winter time. I don't think the scent profile gives itself to that season. But other than that, yeah, this is very easy to wear. This is sexy, more calming and relaxing, I would say, not necessarily trying to pull for compliments. I don't get a lot of compliments with it, but some other people do. I know that other people do well with this DNA. Either way, I think this is fantastic. I do prefer Club de Nuit Intense Man, the EDP, but I think this easily smells higher quality, even if I do prefer the Aventus DNA. Then we have this brand and this line specifically that ends up being on everybody's top cheapie list. It's Encre Noir Extreme. Ash put on the original Encre Noir onto his list. I'm not really a fan of that fragrance. I do think it's a little bit abrasive, a little bit tricky to wear. Encre Noir Sport, I felt, was taking away too much of the character of that DNA. I think it's the safest out of the 3. Fair enough, I think it's good, but I didn't feel it was worth keeping in the collection. Encre Noir Extreme, I find it really amps up the character of what this concept is going for, dark woodiness, mysteriousness, but at the same time it still makes it more pleasant, interesting and easy to wear. I think it's because it has a lot of patchouli. It's dark woodiness with a lot of sweet patchouli that makes this very long lasting, medium projection, 12 hours longevity. Again, it's not everyone's style, but I think anyone into fragrances will appreciate how high quality this smells. Incredible quality for the price. It really is. I know a lot of reviewers always hype up this line. I 100% think this is the best Encre Noir out there, easily, by far. And I would say occasions to wear this is going to be autumn, winter and spring. I think summer, maybe avoid this, maybe go for sport if you really like the DNA. So yeah, guys, you need to, I've always mentioned this fragrance in a lot of videos. Encre Noir à l'extrême, this is the one to check out first. And lastly, we have a classic fragrance that's still a top seller for the brand, that they're still making flankers for to this day. Carolina Herrera's 212 Men NYC. I avoided this fragrance for the longest time because I thought that the presentation looked a bit tacky. It looks like a deodorant can, which in fairness it is tacky, but I do kind of see why they went with this. And I also had the note of grass in it. And I thought, oh, that doesn't sound very sexy. Who wants a grass smelling fragrance? Why would you want to smell like grass? But I think it's a top seller for a reason. When most people smell this fragrance, I don't think they realize it's grass. It doesn't smell like a weird abrasive note at all. You kind of see where they're coming from when you smell it, but it's not really what you think it is. When I smelled it, I fell in love with this instantly. I was shocked at how high quality it smelled and for how cheap it is as well. It's a green fragrance overall, I'd say. It's sort of how it's still sexy, how green Irish tweed is green, and that fragrance inspired one of the most popular green fragrances in all of fragrances, which is Davidoff's Cool Water. So it gives us this very sexy green masculinity to this fragrance. It's very musky. Again, I can see what it made it look like a deodorant can, because it does smell very fresh out of the shower. It's sort of like a green fresh out of the shower fragrance is how I would describe it. I know this fragrance has been reformulated many times. It is a classic, and I still think it deserves to be a classic. I don't think it smells outdated. In my opinion, it smells classic, but timeless, not in a bad way at all. And I think it has that green Irish tweed approach to it, but a lot more youthful and more sexy as well. This gets you compliments a lot of the times also. Performance is fantastic as well. I was shocked. I was getting 10 hours of longevity, 10 hours of smelling it in the air after applying this. Wear it basically all year round. Winter is its weakest season. The other 3 seasons works absolutely fine. I just think, yeah, this is just a really easy, cheap blind buy, dumb reach. I think most people can buy this blind and also be happy with the style it goes for. I still think this is one of Carolina Herrera's best fragrances, and I can see why it's a top seller. There you have it, guys. Which cheap fragrances in your collection would you give a perfect 10 score to, and why? Let us know. Do you agree with my decisions or disagree with them? If you smelt any of these and you don't think they deserve a 10, do you still think they are high quality? As I said before, not all these fragrances have a very easy style to like, but there are some very safe blind buys here. If I had to say the safest ones here, I'd probably say it's Individual and 212. Make sure to check out our previous video, like I mentioned, that explains my out of 10 scoring system. We'll see you in the next one, guys. Class dismissed.